Alright, we're back again with this. It says compact Presario on it, but that's not what it is. You can obviously tell that it's been changed quite significantly. This has got my old Pentium D hardware in it. It was formerly a server. I had it over sitting in my server corner, which is right now, of course, surrounded by a mess, but it's there. But I replaced it because I wanted the better hardware for the server, and I thought that I could get a little bit better cooling out of the AMD system that's over there now. Actually, that turned out to be false. I think it actually runs hotter than this Pentium D machine ever did, so that was kind of a waste. A lot of people have asked me what I want to do with this. My plan, if everything works out, which I strongly suspect it will not, is to use it to replace the Dimension 5150 down there. So I've got it all set up for that. I have a TV tuner card there, that's a Hoppage something or another. This is required. The onboard Ethernet doesn't work, so I'm using this. And I have a Sound Blaster, what is that? Vibro 128 or something like that. I'm going to see if it actually works, because I don't know. I hope it does, because it'd be a darn sight better than the onboard audio, that's for sure. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install a video card, because I'm pretty sure that the onboard Intel 865 or whatever it is, 845, I don't know what it actually is, but whatever it is, it's probably not going to be able to run OBS Studio. In fact, this thing really probably won't run OBS Studio anyway, because it's only an AGP machine. And those are quite old, to put it quite lightly. Of course, I don't really have anything that's better than this, other than the Dimension 5150 and its PCI Express. I don't really have a PCI Express video card either. So that is why I'm going this route, even though it's probably a total waste of time. I've got hard drives installed. I believe there are two 80 gig drives. I know there's at least one 80. This is an 80 gig drive. I was wondering where that went actually, but it turns out it's actually in here. So that's pretty cool. There's the AGP slot. The tab on the back of this slot is actually broken, if it even had one to begin with. So the card's going to be slitting in there loose, which I don't really like, but that's just kind of the way it is. Before I do anything, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but there is quite the veritable carpet on that CPU heatsink. Might be able to just barely make it out. Come on, focus, there we go. There is a carpet on that CPU heatsink, and I'm going to be removing that carpet before I even do anything with this. Right, and that. It's not perfect. At least I doubt it's perfect. It is certainly a lot better than it was. It should work now. So I was wondering why the CPU was running like crap, but the cooler was running so fast on this thing all the time. Well, now I know. It's because of that. Now there's one problem that I think I'm going to run into, and it is that there is only one of these connectors here on this power supply, which is what I need for my video card. So I'm probably going to have to do without a floppy drive on this, which is really going to suck because I actually do use the floppy drive. So I'm going to have to figure something out. Might mean taking out this 380 watt Antec power supply and putting the other one back. Although I really don't like that idea either, because you can see this case is quite a disastrous mess. And this power supply has less wiring on it than that other one does. So this could really be bad. I'd love to get a modular power supply and put that in here, because that would be even better. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. So I'm going to see if I can find another 4-pin power connector on this. I don't think I've got one. If not, I'm going to go get the other power supply out and install that. Okay, I've done quite the fair amount of work here. This power supply is probably a piece of crap, but it actually has the two connectors that I need. It's the only one I found. Well, I found two of them. I had other than the Antec that I also had, which was kind of beat up, which is why I didn't put it in here. I had this, and I had a Sparkle Power that I'd recapped, but it was only a 250 watt power supply, so I wasn't putting that in here. There's no way that was going to power all this. At least not comfortably. So you can see it's still a mess. I mean, it's a little neater than it was before, but it's still a fair mess. I've also put the video card in place. I do not like how close it is to that other card, but really I don't think there's much I can do about that. So I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to hope that all of this is going to work. Now we come to the software part of the equation. Okay, here's the machine. It's hooked up. Got the monitor, got the keyboard, and there's a mouse. Also got the network hooked up. So, first and foremost, and I actually didn't grab it, I'm going to partition the drives that I want, or I'm going to partition them as I want them. And the reason why I'm doing this first, I mean, it's so that I don't have to do it within each specific operating system. I got it all set up before I even go to installing. It's POS Ready 2009. Where my Windows XP disk even is, I don't even know. So that could be an issue. So grab my Ubuntu 14.04 disk. That's the first one I'm going to install. I may just install POS Ready 2009. And deal with it that way. First thing I have to do, though, is to go into the BIOS and change a couple of my settings around. Okay, I have no display. Why do I have no display? Yeah, it's going to the onboard video. Okay, so I have two 80 gig drives. So that's good. The date and time is incorrect. It's 10:55, so that would be 20:55. It's probably because it's on UTC, so it's 5 hours ahead. That should be good. I have a 144 meg floppy. Everything there should be okay. 2.8 gigahertz, 2 gigs RAM. CPU config shouldn't be anything there. Chipset config shouldn't be. Oh, graphics adapter priority. AGP internal VGA. Aperture size. Let's give it 256 megs. Make it as good as possible. Onboard devices. Audio's disabled. I don't need it. At least I shouldn't need it. LAN's disabled. Doesn't work. Everything there otherwise should be okay. Plug and play. I'm going to leave it alone. USB. I'm going to leave that alone as well. Power options. ACPI 2.0 support. Why is that set to no? I'll leave it alone. Store on power limits is last state. I thought I set that to power on. I guess I didn't. Hardware monitor. Well, CPU is definitely running a little cooler. I mean, it's still quite warm, but it's not as hot as it was. So that was an improvement. That should be fine. Use the Seagate as a storage drive. Yeah, that's a great idea. Save changes and exit. Hopefully everything works the way that it is supposed to. Well, okay, not quite. I think my optical drive is no good. Now, I'm going to have to change that optical drive. Take 2. I have the optical drive replaced. I've got my Ubuntu disk. Power it on. That means eject. I'm not sure why there's something in the cooling fan, because there wasn't when I put the side panel on. I don't really care. It's going to boot to the optical drive. Oh, I know what's going on. Okay, I gotta fix whatever that is that's in that side panel, because it's driving me nuts. Take 3 now. That's all done. The optical drive shows up like it's supposed to. Boot device priority, secondary master. Actually, I should be putting the floppy drive first, then the secondary master, and then the primary master. That's how that should be going. Alright. Now it's set up. CPU is rating 47 degrees, hard drive reads 45. Don't really know how accurate that is. Probably not accurate at all. It's about 31 inside. So, let's see if Ubuntu boots, which it should. I just want to try it. I don't want to install it or anything like that. I'm probably not going to use it. What I'm probably going to do is, I might actually install POS Ready 2009. Okay, yep. Something is wrong here. I don't know if that's going to start. Or if that isn't going to work at all. It's probably not going to work at all. So I think it just gave up. So apparently my Ubuntu disk is no good. Well, I could try Bodhi Linux. I'm sure that might be able to give me a partition key. All I want is the partitioner. I don't care about anything else. I just want to be able to partition the drive. Okay, well, it's still going. There's probably some kind of corruption going on. I'm pretty sure this is given up. And I really don't have the time to be wasting on it, so I'm not going to. Okay, live environment. Bodhi Linux. Or Bodhi Linux, or whatever, however you're supposed to pronounce it, because I really don't know. Oh, wow, what is wrong with you? See, this is why people don't use Linux, and they trash talk it all the time. It's because there's no reason for any of this. There's no way I can possibly get it to explain to me what it's actually doing. It takes way too long. Please wait while we are loading settings. Should have been loaded all the settings already. I definitely don't have nearly as much patience as I used to. Let's edit that out. Okay. Definitely don't have nearly as much patience as I used to. Get out of here. All I want. I don't need the network. All I want is a partition editor. Pulse audio, system settings, app center. I should have a partitioner in here somewhere, but I don't see it. That's kind of dumb. Look at this crap. I'm starting to really rethink my opinion, rethink my decision to try and put Linux on this. It can't even get automatic display resolution detection correct. Windows has had that since probably about the beginning of time. And they can't get this right. It's been how many years? This display panel, I might add, when was this display panel manufactured? Let's have a look. Does it actually have a date on it? November of 2004. Okay? So it's been 14 years since this display panel was manufactured. How long has it been since the video card was manufactured? Oh, I'd say maybe 2006, 2007. So it's been more than 10 years since the video card was manufactured. And they can't figure this out. They've had 10 plus years. Yeah, you guys really need to work on getting your hardware detection correct. Because it's wrong. Throw it out and redo it, because it's all incorrect. I'm doing what I should have done in the first place. Getting out my Ultimate Boot CD, and I'll boot into a partition manager from there. At least that will work. So apparently I'm not allowed to partition a hard drive. Oh, that's fine, I don't care. Get out of here. I want my partitioner. Will I be able to find it? That's a very good question. Because I have no idea where it would be on here. Probably somewhere. Basic, rsync, P-mount, disk catalog, disk usage. I find it hard to believe that this wouldn't have partition manager on it, but it looks like it doesn't either. What's wrong with these people? There it is, G-parted partition manager. All drives. So I'm going to be doing all the drives. Okay. So SDA is what? Does it actually tell me what it is? SDB is unallocated. Well, I'm going to be trashing everything anyway. I wish... Okay, I'm going to have to see... Okay, so SDA is the primary drive. Good. So it does have it right. Sometimes it actually doesn't. So I'm going to dump that. And I am going to... SDB... I'm going to... What's the problem? No partition table. So I'm going to create a partition table. So now we'll apply those operations. All operations completed. I need to create a partition table. MS-DOS should be fine. Now I'm going to make a partition. It's going to be NTFS, and I'm going to call it media. It's just a second drive. It's going to be used for storage of things. Add. Go back to SDA. And now here's where things get interesting. At the end of the drive, I'm going to make a, or rather, let's see, let me figure this out. I've added a swap partition at the end. I need to make, what, 24576 megabytes. I'm assuming that's megabytes at least. And that is going to be NTFS. That's for Windows. So we'll call that XP. Well, it's not really going to matter. Now I'll call it WinXP. That's for XP. And I'm going to add another 24576 is what I believe it is. That's another NTFS for Windows 7. And the last one is going to be for Linux. So that's X4. And we'll put in Lunix because I am very, very strange like that. It's 24, 24, 24.5. Good enough, who cares? Apply all those operations. It should be just fine. So you get the chance to look at all that. And my tape is almost out, so it looks like I'm going to be getting another tape. More than 30 minutes of recording time already. Tape 2. No pun intended. Well, actually, yeah, the pun was intended, because this is like take 6 now. So that should be all partitioned and ready to go. Everything is fine. Now I can begin with some Windows installations. Reboot machine. Who cares? So, I'm going to assume that this is Windows XP. It's probably not. It's actually probably Windows 2000. Come on, just eject my CD already. Put that in. Hope that it's Windows XP. It might be. It might actually be a rescue disk. Haven't thought about it. It's labeled Windows. Windows setup. There actually was quite a fair amount of space left on this tape. I probably could have still used it. Oh well. Okay, Windows XP Professional Setups. Yeah, that's what that is. Cool. So, install to partition C, Win XP. Leave the file system intact, so I shouldn't need to do any changes to it. Okay, I'll go ahead and format it as NTFS with a quick format. Don't really need to do any more than that. I think everybody's really seen this process, so instead of wasting tape space showing it, I'm going to go ahead and stop the thing now. Excuse me. And hopefully this process will work. But that is actually moving pretty quickly. Alright, here we go to the second part of setup. The reason why I'm doing this first, I'm doing it in the order of the bootloaders. So Windows XP first, Windows 7 next, and then Linux afterwards. That's the reason why I'm doing that. It's because I want the Linux bootloader. I really don't need the Linux bootloader. I could just use the Windows bootloader, but instead of having to mess around with the bootloader, I might as well just install the Linux one because it'll figure it out automatically, and I don't really need to waste time messing around with it. What a joke. What a joke. Must be lying to me again. Oh, computer, you're gonna work whether you want to or not. Okay, so I have no idea what happened the first time, but it works the second time. Go figure. At least so far it's working the second time. What is it doing? I wonder. Probably installing additions. Drivers, perhaps? Updates? Setup will complete in approximately 39 minutes. I always love how inaccurate that actually is. If it takes 39 minutes to do that, I'll be very surprised. So, location should be Canada, though it doesn't really matter. I'm going to at least set it somewhat appropriately. Everything else should be fine. That should be fine. Full name and organization. I actually should probably type it correctly. And we'll give it a name. Here's what we'll do. We'll give it that name. SR1103 Plus, because it's an SR1103 WM case, but I've upgraded it. And we'll enter in a password. And now, 7 o'clock a.m. I don't think so. I wonder how it managed to figure that out. GMT minus 5. It is 11. Well, it's more like 12 o'clock. More like midnight now. So I think I'll do that. I'll just set it to that. Because that's close enough. Now I'm going to install the network. Who knows if that'll work. I need to just give it a static IP address, so it's not floating all over my network. Okay, installation is just about done now. And that's removing temporary files. And now it should be rebooting. Just in case it still requires a disk, I'm going to leave it in place. Though I don't think it does. At this point, I think it's done. And when it is done, I'm going to go ahead and start working on Windows 7. And assuming that'll work on this hardware. So far, every step of the way, there's been a problem. So, why don't I have 2 entries? Well, I don't think it's going to really matter. Because the bootloader is going to be overwritten anyway. First step, it should be going to resize my desktop window. Resize that, and hopefully it'll actually pick one that can function on this display, which it will. So there's proof. Windows got it right before Linux did. It'd be interesting if my audio works out of the box. I don't have any speakers attached. Maybe I should go attach some speakers. Nah, it's too late for that. I don't have any powered speakers handy anyway. Except for the USB powered HP ones, and those take forever to set up. I will need to set up speakers eventually. Okay, did it lock up or what? Well, it's not completely frozen solid. But it shouldn't be taking this long. Hey, that didn't take long enough, and did it. Click on next. Turn on automatic updates. No. Checking your internet connectivity. Well, it isn't going to work. Because DHCP doesn't generally work on my network, and I don't know why it said it doesn't. Which is why I've been giving everything static IP addresses. Pretty much because I have no choice. Should I let it keep going, or should I just skip it? I'm going to skip it. Oops. Well, it managed to figure it out there. I'm not ready to register online with Microsoft, not that it will do any good. Go ahead and put in my name. Oh, I forgot. You can't push next. Just get to the next tab. There, and I can hit finish. And I can get ready for step number 2 of this process. Take that disk out and put in my Windows 7 disk. Hopefully this Windows 7 disk is actually still good. If not, I'm going to have to go find my USB stick. Was it really such a good idea to put that? You know what? I'll reject that. So that way it doesn't decide it's going to run all that stuff. Yeah, it doesn't have any clue what my network is, so... Reboot machine. Now I have to install drivers later. Once I've got all the operating system stuff figured out, I'll install drivers. It might not be until next weekend before I can get any work done on this, although I think next weekend is... Yeah, next weekend's Canada Day. Canada Day weekend, so I won't even have that weekend to do anything. So who knows when this thing is going to get worked on next, because I don't have time through the week. Too busy with work and low-end radio and other things. Okay. Rebooting. Hopefully, I can boot to the CD, the DVD. Come on. There we go. Hopefully this disc is good. Okay, all that's fine. Install now. I wonder how much of this disc is going to screw up in the name of working. I wonder if it's going to ask me for my product key during the setup, or if it's going to do it afterwards. I think it does it afterwards. I know Windows Vista asks for it in the first part of setup, but you can skip it though. Well, I wouldn't recommend it. Alright. Windows 7 Professional, accept license terms, custom install to Windows 7. What just fell over? Something fell over. Well, anyway. Yeah, the trash vortex, like I said, is not totally clean yet. So we'll install there and see what it screws up. I always love how the first step never actually does anything. It always jumps straight to expanding Windows files while it's copying from the disk. Never understood that. I'll point out what fell over. I have this Variac here that is in absolutely dreadful shape. It needs a new cord set. In fact, it's so bad I just cut the end right off. So I couldn't use it before I put a new cord set on it. I mean, look at this. This is awful. But I scrap picked it because it's a vintage, rather old and rather solidly built Variac, and I couldn't see that going to trash. So grabbed that, but it was sitting on top of this UPS, and because it's bigger than the UPS, it actually was tilting this UPS over, and I guess it finally had enough, and everything fell off of it, including this battery pack, which belongs to the UPS. And that was what made all that noise, just in case you were wondering, which you probably weren't, but now you know. The process is definitely coming along nicely for once something is working, without my having to interfere with it. But of course, since everything seems like it's going so nicely, I've obviously overlooked something. Bootloader, possibly. I don't know if it's going to boot to Windows 7, a new Windows 7 install, or if it's going to have just screwed up. Who knows, really. But here we go. For the most part, it's now done. It's the first phase of installation. Now we'll restart. And hopefully, we will boot to the new installation. That's not going to boot back to Windows XP, which it could do. You never know. It's trying to read the disk. It wants to boot to it. But you don't have to. Alright. Well, there we go. Cool. So it actually did manage to figure it out automatically. I've got both Windows XP and Windows 7 on here. Windows 7 is the newest version of Windows that this hardware has ever run. Previously I had Vista on it. That was the previous newest. When I first got it, it was running Windows XP. Well, it was bare bones. We put XP on it because we didn't have Windows 7 license keys. Then we got the Windows Vista license keys. Then we got the Vista keys and put Vista on it. It ran that for actually probably quite a while. Didn't run it too badly, but like I said, nobody really likes Vista, so that was why the video card was purchased, so the arrow effects would work. for a little bit of added performance. It's hard to believe a Radeon X1300 Pro card was actually worth something back in the day, but it was. I don't remember what it cost. It wasn't cheap. Of course, it wasn't terribly expensive either. You wouldn't have had it if it was terribly expensive. Okay, looks like I actually figured out the video now. That's a start. And once again, I'd like to point out that it didn't put the monitor into a resolution it can't display, or didn't try to set a resolution the monitor couldn't display. It actually managed to figure it out. Setup will continue after restarting your computer. I think this is the last phase of setup. I wonder if it's going to work when I put the license key in, because I think it tries to activate, and that certainly isn't going to work because it doesn't have network capabilities, more than likely. Now, if anything, the audio is probably not going to work, because I don't think there is an official Windows 7 driver for the Vibra 128 from Creative. Preparing your desktop. Preparing it for what? It's about to take off for Jupiter. Would this camcorder ever focus? Well, here we go. Yep, there is no audio service running. No audio output device is installed, so I'll have to figure that out. But in the meantime, I'm going to get Linux installed on this. You may or may not be able to see the time on your screen, how long this took to burn. Hope it actually worked. I find it didn't. I'm going to try and put Linux Mint on this. So, that's what we'll do. And we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get anything else done tonight, because it is already past 1 a.m. and I need to get up for work tomorrow. Linux Mint, automatic boot. Start Linux Mint, sure. Probably do an integrity check first, but I'm not going to. I don't have time for that. I had a lot of problems with X servers not working appropriately over the last while. So let's see if this one actually does. This is the most recent version of Linux Mint, but it's what I have handy, and I wasn't about to wait for a new ISO to download. You just run the update manually. Okay, really slow. I wonder if I can set a manual IP address so it can download updates while it's installing. Maybe I'll do that. Of course, this optical media, I don't know who makes it. I can check. I have a couple of them somewhere. It's Maxell Media, DVD minus RWs. And they're limited to a 1x burn speed, which is kind of stupid. Here we go. We are now established. We have established the link. I'm going to just go ahead and install it. And assume that everything is going to work. Because it will. Even though it's Linux. Alright. You may wish to read the release notes. Continue. I don't really care to read the release notes. I already know what's going on here. Install third-party software. It doesn't ask me to install updates. I thought it did. Continue. Might as well install all that third-party stuff, because I'm probably going to need it. I wonder if all the fans and the power supply are actually working. It's got two fans, but one of them was brought out externally, so I don't know. What is it doing now? Who knows? Other than wasting my time, who knows what it's doing. Okay, well, something like that didn't take long enough. Alright. I'm going to choose something else and do this manually, because I don't want it to screw it up. So here's what we're going to do. Change that. Use this X4 format. Mount point on slash. Before you can select any previous changes, I didn't change the size of the partition. Okay, whatever. Ugh, come on, machine, let's go. Holy crap. How long does it take to detect drive changes? Like, seriously, what is this? 1965? Use as swap area. Okay. Install to SDA. Yeah, that's it. As good as any choice. Install now. So it should all be okay. Toronto, I can't believe it managed to figure that out. Usually it doesn't. Time is completely incorrect. I'm going to have to change that. English, United States. Now the install process. Oh, I got to put in my name and stuff. Right, so that should be the last thing that it needs to do. And then it'll start installing, and it'll hopefully work. Then updates will need to be installed, and then programs will need to be installed. OBS Studio. That's really the only program I think I need to install on this. Because I can't think of anything else that would run under Linux that I can use for that purpose. It's probably going to be it. Yeah, there's nothing else really that I would use on there. So we'll just do that. So one other thing I use that Stream Encoder for, and that's importing video off of these camcorders. So I'm going to have to figure that out. Probably can't use Linux for that. I'm probably going to have to use Windows XP for that. Okay, so we'll reboot. And that's probably going to be all I'm going to do tonight, because it's already 2 o'clock in the morning, and I need to get up for work. So we will be revisiting this project at some point in a future video. So I think this one's gone on long enough. I don't really have time or the tape space. I don't even know how much tape space I have left on the camera, on this tape. Alright. Okay, I'm going to have to change this because it seems to have only managed to get Windows 7, which is going to boot into this. So that's slightly annoying. Oh well, it's just the way that things go, I guess. So that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to tell you. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Till then.